Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Hello, and thank you for downloading this episode of The Bolder Woman here on Wisp Sports. This is Season 1, Episode 14, and I'm Chris Stafford.
Your mind is clearer than before. Your heart is full and wanting more. Your future's at the door. Give it all you got. No hesitating. You've been waiting all your life. This is
The Bolder Woman tells the stories of sportswomen over 50 who are still competitive. And our guest this week is multi-talented Masters thrower Myrle Mensey from St. Louis, Missouri, who, despite becoming a septuagenarian earlier this year, continues to dominate both nationally and internationally. Her catalogue of world records is endless, both in hammer and shot put. And as a coach, she knows a thing or two about throwing discus and javelin too. Despite growing up before Title IX and missing out on the school and college sports available today, Myrle decided to take up Masters athletics at the age of 50. Unfortunately, though, she ruptured her Achilles tendon just 2 years later, which put a stop to her running, so she turned her hand to throwing instead. She was ranked world number 1 in 12-pound weight throw from 2011 to 2014. And now she's reached 12 consecutive years where she's been ranked number 1 in the US in 5 or more events. In addition to multiple records, Myrle was the 2013 USA Track and Field Masters Thrower of the Year, the 2013 USA Track and Field Masters Overall Female Athlete of the Year, and she was inducted to the USA Track and Field Hall of Fame in 2014. She is an IAAF Level 5 throws coach, a USA Track and Field Certified Level 3 throws coach, and Certified USA Track and Field Level 2 for jumps and youth specialization. Determined to pave the way for girls to have advice and access to sport, in 2008 she established Throwing and Growing, the Myrle Mensey Foundation, which is a non-for-profit organization providing mentoring, educational, nutritional information, and physical fitness programs for girls while participating in the throwing sports. We'll hear from Myrle how she juggles a schedule of trading, competing, coaching, and being a mentor. Myrle, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you've had a wonderful career, throwing your weight about, literally, haven't you?
It's been exciting.
Well, it certainly has. You've done a number of things and hold various records. We couldn't include them all here today, but we certainly will include them all in the show notes because it really is a fantastic history of throwing shot and shot put and hammer, and this is something that you've been doing now since you were, 50 you started? So you're in Masters, so you've been doing this, 20 years, have you?
Yes. I guess my first Masters competition was not at 50. It was probably 55. I'm trying to remember what the date was that I got inducted into the Masters Hall of Fame, because you have to be in Masters Athletic for 10 years. Mm-hmm. So that would have constituted my first Masters competition, and 10 years later is when I got inducted.
What was the appeal of throwing weights? Because it's not for everybody. You've got to obviously be strong, but you have to have a certain build and temperament and a physique for those weights. I know, having thrown javelin myself, it requires a certain type of person to throw a shot put or a hammer. What was that appeal for you?
Well, I think because I was a runner at one time and I ruptured my Achilles, and I basically was fairly strong and quick, and just wanted to stay in the sport and was throwing the shot and the perception now has gone away. It used to be that you had to be big, burly, and masculine to be a thrower. Now the thrower is leaner, more strength, speed. It's not all about that bulkiness. So it was easy for me to go that because I was strong and I was quick. And there was just an excitement about doing something different.
Yes, I can imagine, because you mentioned there that you used to be a runner and you cycled, you played tennis and all of those things, but the Achilles tendon was the turning point when you were 52 that stopped you actually running so you could focus on the weights then. But let's rewind a little bit further. When you were growing up, there was no Title IX in school, so you didn't have the advantage of the choice of sports that people have today.
No, I did not. And I look back and I think about if I had had the opportunity to compete in organized sports back then, where would I be now? Would I have been as good of an athlete as I am now? And so it's hard to even visualize, although I missed the fact that I was before Title IX. But we did have like basketball in high school. 6 people played, but only 2 could cross the line. It was just crazy. Nothing like basketball is now. Track, we had some high school track, but it was not on a big level. And so I did sprints, and I remember throwing the shot. And so when I turned 50, that was kind of the first thing I kind of picked up. I was already running, and I was like, let me pick this back up and see if I can do this. And
you have a natural talent for that surprise you?
I got some feedback from you.
So did that surprise you that you had a natural talent for it?
Not really, because I've actually been athletic all my life and participated in some kind of sport, biking, running, tennis, basketball. I even played on a basketball team, senior state basketball team. So doing that was just a matter of learning the technique.
Did you have a coach?
I've kind of been a go-getter.
Yes.
Well, in the beginning, I didn't. But when I went to a meet and got beat, I decided that I was going to go back and get a personal trainer and a coach and really work on the technique. And at 55, I won my first world championship. And before that, it took me a couple of years to actually break into the ranks of being number one. It didn't happen overnight.
So you were ambitious then right from the start. Once you started to throw again, did you set yourself goals, or obviously there was motivation and ambition.
I did. There was a couple of girls that were throwing very well that were smaller in stature than me. And I just looked at them and said, you know what? I'm not letting her beat me anymore. And then the girls continued to encourage me. They all told me, boy, if you get that technique down, you're going to really be good. So I had that going for me, too, because they actually saw, I guess, my body build, my strength, my agility. It was just that I really didn't know exactly what I was doing.
Now, what was your family's reaction to this? Are they sporty? Were they encouraging you, or were they surprised that you wanted to take it that seriously when you got to 50 and became a Masters athlete?
Well, most of my family has been fairly active. My mother was at the Y 3 days a week up until she was 92 in fitness classes. My sister and brother both rode in the bike club, the road bike clubs that we rode in. So we have always been involved in activities. I was probably the only athlete, so to say, in my family.
And paving,
but they were all proud of me.
I can imagine paving the way there. And you, as you said, you thrown the shot put, the hammer, the discus. Do you have a preference, or do you enjoy all of them just as much?
Well, as I've gotten older and gotten better, the hammer and the weight are probably my love and probably what everybody really sees me and recognizes me as being number one in the world in, the ones I hold the most records in. And but I'm back to enjoying the shot now. As a coach, I'm also a private coach, and so as I train girls to throw shot and discus, it has increased my love for those events again. And by doing a lot of demonstrating, it has also helped with my ability to do it as I get older.
I want to talk about the training, the fitness level, and maintaining that strength that you need for these different disciplines here, you know, from hammer to shot put or disc. No matter what you're throwing, it requires upper body strength. How do you maintain that level of fitness and strength as you get older? Have you noticed a difference?
Well, and one of the perceptions, I just kind of want to correct you on a few things. Throwing is from the ground up. So it's not the upper body strength. You actually have to have strong lower body. The upper body just delivers what the lower body puts there. The explosion comes from the ground up, and then the arm delivers it. I have a trainer that I've been working with for 10 years, and he calls me a beast, and he has not trained me any differently than he trained me 10 years ago, when he was training me like I was 40 and I was 60, and he's still training me like I'm 45. And the beauty of it is my strength has not fallen off. I'm still as strong as I've ever been, and maybe even stronger. The only thing that happens as you get older is that hand-eye coordination, the spinning, that part of it you really, really have to work on, because that part will leave before the strength.
That's very interesting, because we often see people who are not active or not sporting anyway and don't exercise regularly. The one thing that does diminish with age is the strength and their flexibility. So that's very interesting that yours has not. I imagine you've got a lot of muscle memory, though, too. Do you do cross-training apart from the sports that you do there, Myrle?
Basically, I don't. I cardio. I basically just here lately am a thrower. But what I have learned is less is the real more as you get older. It doesn't take as much. You don't have to do as much. I don't want to say it takes as much. I remember the time when I used to go out and I would throw 30 times. Well, now it doesn't take 30 times. Now it takes 20 times. Throw something 20 times. I don't throw anything 30 times. I try to get more quality than quantity. So that's what has really helped with even my strength training, is that it's more quality than quantity.
So tell us about your training routine now. What does a typical week look like for you outside of competition then, Myrle? Okay.
I work with my strength and conditioning trainer 2 days a week. I cardio 4 days a week. I throw 2 days a week. and I have a chiropractic sports medicine physician that is also a member of my board of directors, Dr. Connie Hayes, and she's also on the USATF medical staff that also helps to keep my body in tune. So in season, I see her once a week. Out of season, I see her, twice a month, once a month. It just kind of depends. But she kind of helps to keep everything in line. And help with injury prevention.
Yes, I was just going to say that, about injury prevention, because no athlete can survive without something. There's always a niggle along the way there. What has been the worst injuries for you?
Besides the Achilles, the World Championships in Budapest, 6 weeks before going, we found out I had a complete tear in my anterior distal supraspinatus in my shoulder.
Oh.
And my doctor, Dr. Connie Hayes, said that we could rehab it to 95%, and I wouldn't get any more than that from surgery, because at 65, that's not something that they really like to do on non-athletes, is to do surgery. And because my body was not a 65-year-old body, I could have had it done, but then I would have been out for who knows how long. I have lost the ambition to throw. So we decided to rehab. And when we went to World Championships, she had it taped. She actually went with me to Budapest to make sure that the shoulder held up, and it did. I set a world record there. So determination and a good doctor, and just worked really hard at the rehab, and I never had surgery on the shoulder.
Well done, you.
So,
yeah. And here you are, still throwing. Now, what about nutrition, Myrle? Is that something you've always been very mindful of? Are you very strict about your diet?
Yes, I am. I actually have a certain protein that I do. I do a protein shake every morning. I do one in the evening. I am very conscious of the type of carbs that I take in. I'm chicken and fish, very little red meat, vegetables and fruit. Very, very nutrition is at the top of my list, and one of the reasons why I have been able to maintain the high level of performance that I have.
So let's talk a little bit about what else you do when you're not training and when you're not competing, and then I want to hear what your competitions are this season, what meets you've got coming up. Let's talk about the organization that you are the executive director of, Throwing and Growing, a wonderful title, the Myrle Mensey Foundation, helping girls through fitness programs and nutrition education. It's something that obviously is very front and center these days, helping girls in sport, whatever the sport be. So where did the catalyst for this come from?
I guess as I started my coaching career, and I went to a lot of meets, high school meets, and I saw girls just performing terrible. I also saw behavior that I thought was unacceptable. And while I was in the corporate arena, very active in community liaison for the company that I worked for, and I just saw our girls just not caring about who they were or what they wanted or where they were going. And so Throwing and Growing came about not just for the throwing aspect, but for the 360-degree grooming of girls to have them prepared for the future, to make them more available and qualified for college scholarships. And so we decided we needed to include etiquette, reading, educational, besides the physical fitness. And so that's how all of that came back. And it was going to be my way to give back. I wanted to give back to the community, to the girls, to the world, some of the things that I had experienced at a late age that I thought would be beneficial to them at a younger age.
Is this a local organization then, Myrle? Is this within, your own geographical catchment area that you can reach out to these girls personally?
Yes. And we do a winter throws camp that I have coaches come in from all over. Michelle Carter, the Olympic shot putter, is a good friend of mine. She's been here a couple of times. Gia Lewis, Olympic discus thrower. Several of them have come in to my camp, and we get girls from Chicago, Tulsa, Atlanta, all over that come to our camp. But our basic programs that we do, the educational, the enrichment programs, those are basically St. Louis and surrounding areas.
And how many girls would you have then typically in a year that would go through the program?
Oh, I guess in a year, because we do after-school programs, we do summer programs. We probably touch 200 girls during the year. I don't mean touch, but reach out to 200 girls plus every year. And that's probably on the low side.
Yes, that's fantastic. And of course, with that, hopefully you're finding young girls that are coming into your sport.
Yes. And that's the physical part that we do besides the conditioning, the cardio and strength conditioning. We teach them how to throw. So that's how we introduce girls to the throwing sport, is through that part of the physical activity of the program. And one of the good things that I am really excited about is the girls that have been through the program that have gone away to college, they actually come back and mentor to the new girls in the program. They come back and are assistant instructors for our summer programs and for our after-school programs. And that is really the awesome part of it, because they get to share what it was like coming through our program and going away to college and the benefits of it.
And obviously that's very satisfying for you, watching the girls progress in the sport and get competitive, and hopefully it stays with them as long as it has with you. Yes,
and it's a lifestyle. It's no different than any other physical activity that you could do. The only thing about it is, I have embraced it and I love it. I love the competition. And for me, it is a lifestyle. And I guess the biggest thing I want to show people is that there are things that you can do forever. It's not like it's something that you do, you go to college, you do it, you finish. You have to do some kind of physical activity to stay vibrant. And this is what I've chose to do.
And you also mentioned about coaching. That's something that you clearly enjoy doing. How long have you been coaching, Myrle? Has it been almost as long as you've been competing?
Yes, almost. I've been coaching about 10 years. I started with a USATF Level 1, and then I went and did a Level 2, and then I did a Level 3. I did youth specialization throws, and then I went and did the highest level, IAAF international level throws, which is a Level 5. And I did it so that I could feel qualified to train any level of athlete. Plus, I needed the knowledge to be able to continue to throw myself, but if I can demonstrate or the girls can see me throw, it's a lot easier to learn than having a coach that's just trying to tell you what to do. And, I have my nails polished, my face made up, I'm really girly. And so they see that. And so they feel like they don't have to be big and burly like some of the male coaches try to make them be. They try to make them be non-girly. I guess that's the perception, that you can't be girly and throw.
Well, that's often a perception, isn't it, that girls can't be feminine and do some of the sports that have traditionally not been mainstream. But now we're seeing a lot of changes there and seeing girls do absolutely anything. You can be anything these days.
You can. And that's the amazing part. Because even those girls that don't end up being throwers, that's a crossover between a whole lot of different athletic arenas. It's the foundation for everything. You can go from that and be a good basketball player. You bobsledding. Look at it's just so, it's just such a crossover sport.
It certainly is. We've seen a lot of it. And we also see a lot of athletes doing two sports, crossover sports, doing them in parallel and seasonally too. So, yeah, there's a lot of inspiration out there for girls, and clearly you're playing your part in encouraging and inspiring the next generation, Myrle. But I want to just get you to look in the rearview mirror now and tell me what you would consider to be your three, say, career highlights, because you've done so much, you've broken so many records, and you've achieved other things and awards, civic awards, for example. But what would you say would be three highlights that mean the most to you?
Well, one of the highlights that I really is when my mother started throwing at age 87. We went to a Missouri State senior meet, and she would go with me every year, and I looked in the record book, and I said, you know what, Mama, the record in the shot put is only 9 feet for women 85 to 89. I bet you could throw that. And she was going to the Y 3 times a week, very active, and she said yes. And and that was a meet that you could register that day. And we went over and registered. And she actually set 3 records that day. And everybody was like, we've never seen you this excited before, even when you set a record. I say, but that's my mama setting a record. So from that year, she did it every year after that. She even threw the hammer, the weight. She started throwing everything. We practiced. We'd start a couple of months before the meet, and she'd throw. She practiced, and that was the only meet that she ever did. Every year was the St. Louis Senior Olympics. And she was so proud to say that she was the oldest female thrower in the state of Missouri. And she ended up holding records in 85 to 89, 90 to 94. And that meet is coming up June 8th. And it's going to be a bittersweet meet because everybody knew Miss Daisy. Everybody knew my mother. I mean, she supported me and everybody knew her. And it's going to be some people there that are not going to know that she has passed and going to be looking for her. And so that's really one of the really, really big highlights. The other is, I guess, winning my first world championship. Winning my first world medal. My sister went to Italy with me in 2007, and I got a bronze medal in the weight throw. All the other events, I didn't get on the medal stand, and it was on her birthday. We were there for 2 weeks, and I remember telling her, I said, I hope I don't have to steal a medal from somebody. And I got the medal on her birthday. And you would have thought it was the gold medal, but it was the bronze medal. But in 2007, we will never forget that. She kept on telling me, "Oh, you're going to get you a medal. You're going to get one. You're going to get one." I was like, okay, well, they better hurry up and come. So I guess that was another highlight. And I guess I'll combine these two. 2013 was a really good year for me. I got overall female athlete of the year, which normally does not go to a thrower. It usually goes to a runner or a jumper, but never to a thrower. I think one other year another thrower got it, but to be a thrower and get overall female athlete of the year is a big deal. And I set a lot of records that year. I got inducted into the Masters Hall of Fame. And so I think that time was a good year. And I can't leave out 2019. I know you said three things, but turning 70 in February and competing in my first meet at age 70 and setting a world record and 2 American records in one meet was felt good. And I'm looking so forward to outdoor season because I'm throwing almost as good as that early in the year as I have ever thrown.
Well, that's wonderful.
It's a little scary.
So
it's a little scary.
What are the?
I'm waiting on them to drug test me.
What are the meets you're looking forward to then this year, Mel? What are the highlights coming up for you this season?
I have 3 meets that I have besides the other prep meets, as I call them, but outdoor nationals in Ames, Iowa, and then the throws championship in Lyles, and of course world championships in Toronto. So I have July and August, which are going to be really big months for me. And so I am looking forward to getting back on the world stage because I missed a world meet, indoor worlds this year, just kind of recovering from my mother passing and missed a few months of training, just going through that. And so I'm looking forward to 2019.
And when is your...
This is my year.
This is your year. Well, it seems every year is your year, but what is your next competition then? When is the next meet?
I am actually throwing in a local meet here in St. Louis. It's St. Louis Senior Olympics. And I do it from time to time just so that my family can get a chance to see me throw. And they only throw the shot, discus, and the javelin. They don't throw the hammer and the weight. But that's the only time that they really get a chance to see friends and stuff, get a chance to see me throw. So that's happening May 27th. And then June 8th will be the Missouri State Games. So those are my 2 kind of tune-ups.
Well, certainly a busy...
For the big stage.
Yes, for the international stage. Well, certainly a very busy season ahead for you then, Myrle. And I wish you the very best of luck because clearly, as you said, you're as strong as ever and there's more records to be broken along the way and that you're just ready to take them all on. So the very, very best of luck and thank you for taking time to come on the show and share your story.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I am so excited to be able to share that with you. If I can just add one more note, I am actually training 2 girls right now that have qualified for state championships. So that's exciting this year.
Yes, always, and following their, obviously their athletic careers too, and yeah, having your fingerprints on their successes. That's wonderful. Well, good luck again, Myrle, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
And if you would like to read the full list of Myrle's incredible records and achievements over the years in throwing, then do visit our website at wispsports.com. Go to the Listen tab and the drop-down menu to The Bolder Woman, where you'll find the full show notes for this episode. And do, whilst you're on the website, check out some of the other coverage that we have here of women's sports. Not just podcasts, but there's also videos, articles, and blogs from some of our ambassadors. That's all at wispsports.com. You can also join in the conversation about women's sports wherever you are in the world and whatever the sport by following us on social media at Wisp Sports. And you can also reach us directly here by dropping us a line to info@Wisp Sports. Until the next time, thank you for listening and supporting women in sport everywhere. Goodbye for now.
This is your moment.